Welcome back to Dream Cloud and Millennial Tech. We are continuing the Millie Mini AI Bot course. In the last video, the last lesson, we went over this middle shelf part, right? Now we are going to pull in the lower post part, right, which is this guy here. If I turn off the assembly, you can see that we have this lower post part right here. We only modeled it one time, and then when we put it into the assembly, we put it in 4 times. So that makes it more efficient. It also means that we can copy it. So it's going to become the upper post part. So we might need to rename it when we put it into the assembly as we insert it in as a new part. So what we want to do right now is turn off the middle shelf. First, we need to give this a new local coordinate system point. So open this guy, and then make sure this is double clicked, right? And then we're going to go into assembly 4. Make sure you're not in the part design. So we need to make sure that we're in the lower post part and double click it. And then this should highlight. And basically, we're going to create it right here on this point, on this circle right here, this edge condition. So we're in assembly 4, and we have our tool right here. Make sure that this is selected. We're going to hit add new. We're just going to name this the post. I'm starting to name these now because we have way too many. So these generic names don't really work anymore. So post 1, if I create any more. It created this point all the way down here. So what I'm going to do is just keep going, select that, select concentric, and hit OK. But I'm also going to move that up into here just to prove that, you know, these things can be manipulated. So now this local coordinate system point is actually in the lower post part, even though when we created it, it wanted to throw it down here. So we're good. That point is there. I'm going to turn it off. And then we're going to come into this middle shelf, right? So now we can turn on the middle shelf. And we're actually going to click on that, open that up. We're going to create 4 points for that point to match up to. So essentially, we're just going to create one. Make sure we're in assembly 4. Hit this guy right here. We're going to name this middle one. We're going to select this guy, and we're going to select concentric. And we're going to select, okay, I don't know why it's wanting to make it down here, but again, we need to move this up into middle shelf part. So now it's a part of this. And if we hide it, it goes away. So we need to be here and then add a new point. Middle 2. There it goes. Okay, now it's behaving right. Select this guy, select concentric, hit OK. Do it again. Middle 3. Okay. Click on this guy, click on concentric, click OK. Do it again. Middle 4, boom. Okay, that's the secret right there. You have to have the thing selected. So you have to have this selected, then you click the local LCS point, and then boom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all these off, right? We know where they are. And then I'm going to hide that, and then I'm actually going to turn off all the parts. Now we're going to go into the assembly, right? And we're going to check these things. So the lower post part right here should have this new point, right? There it is. What we need to do is look at the middle shelf, turn these on, right? Those are our new points. And then we need to insert a part, right? So make sure that you have the assembly selected. We're going to click insert part, right? It's going to be the lower post part, right? We're going to insert it. And then we're going to grab the post one, which is going to be the top point, right? And then we're going to select the parent is going to be the middle shelf. And then we're going to click that point. And you notice that it moved it up a little bit, but what we have to do is rotate it around the y-axis and the z-axis. So this is really cool, right? We can basically move any part around in any orientation in the drawing, and then we just have to select the right rotation and the right point. So I could have moved it to this point, right? Or that point, or that point, which we will in the future, but right now, let's just start with middle one, right? And then choose the correct orientation. So that would be not the correct orientation. And then all of those would be incorrect. And then all of those would be incorrect, right? And then hit OK, and we're done. So look at that. That, my friends, was amazing, right? Because that brought in the part that we modeled, and it brought it in on the right location and the right orientation, and then we don't have to model that again, and then we're good to go. So basically, you know, we can use this to keep building, right? We can keep assembling parts right in here. And if we need to, you know, model a part on top of this, we'll do that in a future video. For this video, I'm just going to focus on how to get all 4 of these upper posts into the assembly. So the next thing we want to do is rename this, just so we don't get, just so we don't lose track of this thing. So we're going to keep it on lower part. We're going to do part 1, assembly, but because now it's a part of this upper, we're just going to rename this upper post part 1 assembly, right? So now it'll be upper post part 1, part 2, part 3, all in the assembly. Cool. So that's basically that. We're gonna do it again, right? We're gonna insert another part. It's gonna be the lower post part, right? We're gonna insert it. That's where it starts. That's where we modeled it, right? So it doesn't know where to go yet. We're gonna click the post 1 because that's the point on the top that we're gonna reference on the part itself. And then the parent part is gonna be the middle shelf, right? And then we're gonna select point 2, which is gonna move it over there. And then we're gonna rotate that around the y-axis twice, right? If we did the z-axis, it would have done the same thing. And that's even more clean. So all you have to do is two x-axes, and it actually got it there. But I'll just show you, you know, we can reposition it. Hit OK, you're good to go. So look at that, right? Now we have the second point. And we only had to model one part, but we got to put it into the drawing, into the assembly now, 6 different times. We're going to do it 8 times. So we're going to rename this, and I'm just going to type it in, upper post part 2 assembly, right? Done. Click save. We're going to keep going. Now we're going to hit the third one. So we're going to insert the part. It's the lower post part. It's going to be post. That's the point on the part. And then when we select our parent, it's the middle shelf. And then it's the third point. And then we rotate just like that. So it doesn't matter. You can just keep clicking these. You don't need to be right on the first time. but you do need to eventually get it to be correct, right? Just keep clicking around until it looks right, and then you're good to go, right? So clean. Okay, let's do this again. Rename upper post part 3 assembly. So then we do it for the final time. So we're going to insert lower post part, insert it, click that. Parent is the middle shelf, and then their last point right there, and then rotate a couple times to get it up there, and then rotate it around, and you're good to go. Finally, rename this. Right? Good to go. Save it again. Now, my friends, we have a really nice looking assembly here. And if we wanted to, we could move all these up here so that they're higher up. Right? So we have the bottom shelf, lower posts, middle shelf, upper posts, and then we'll do upper shelf, top shelf, neck, and then finally the face, right? So we have a little while to go, but it's looking really good so far. So basically what we did was we created that point on the original part, right? And then we turned it off. So now what we need to do is go in here and turn that off and make sure that these are all turned off. So anything on the all these points on the assembly we don't need to look at, right? I'm just saying, like, let's turn the visual point off so it can look clean. So that's our clean model, right? That's looking really good so far. And basically what we're gonna do is we're not gonna flip this guy because, like I said before, this one right here, the underside of this, so let me turn the bottom one off. The underside of this here, the underside of this right here is gonna have the same hole pattern as the underside of this here. So this is not married. You can think of it as it needs to look the same on the bottom, up above, but it's gonna have, you know, different details. So it's not the same part, and we do need to model a new part. So instead of continuing that in this video, we'll do that in the next lesson. But what I do want to do is kind of a preview of what we're going to be doing. So let's try to do that now. What I really want to do is see if we can go into part design and see if we can pull this guy, right, or this guy in as kind of a shape as a binder. So if I click on this guy and I click on create a body, it tries to put that body here. So let's pull it out again, right? So this body is right here. And then for that body, what I want to do is I want to select upper post part 1. I want to select that guy. And I want to make that the binder. And it worked. So that's great, right? So what does that give us? Now we're up here, right? And we can turn, let's turn that off for now, right? And then on here, we're going to rename this. This is going to be upper shelf, right? Just as the body. And then we're gonna click on this and we're gonna create a sketch. Okay, now we need to figure out, oh, you need to double click on this. This always needs to be highlighted, right? And then we're gonna create a sketch. So that did work. And I just said make an independent copy because we're done with this part. We're not gonna modify that at all. We're still gonna modify this one a little bit, right? We forgot to do the chamfer on the edge there. And we're definitely gonna modify this one. So, but that's basically it. We got up to this level. I'm happy with that. Obviously, you know the next step. It's gonna be rounded rectangle from the center, right? From there, we're gonna do 200, 200, 15. So that's the outline, right? And then when that's done, we're gonna close that, we're gonna pad that, and then we'll be up to the next level. So just think about that as what we'll be doing after this, and then that'll be in the next video. So I'll catch you there.